the Champions League 2023-2024 final. The match is going to be taking place, of course, on Saturday, the 1st of June, between Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid. And in this video, this is really all you need to know about the final. I'm going to tell you, firstly, some sort of interesting facts and stats to know about the final. And then we're going to go team by team, dissecting their journey to the final, their strengths and keys to victory, their weaknesses, the key players for the game, and then, of course, my final prediction for the Champions League final. Get in the comments below, please, on who you think is winning the Champions League this year. It's going to be a fantastic final. I can't wait, but without further ado, let's get into the Champions League final preview. So we begin by looking at some interesting stats, some facts about the final which you probably didn't know, but it's useful knowledge to have. So, Borussia Dortmund have already won a Champions League match in England this season. That was a 1-0 victory against Newcastle in the group stages. However, Dortmund have lost on all of their 3 previous visits to Wembley Stadium. The 2-1 defeat against Bayern in the 2013 Champions League final, and a pair of defeats against Spurs, 3-1 in the 17-18 group stage, and 3-0 in the 18-19 round of 16. Mats Hummels and Marco Reus both played for Dortmund the last time they were in the Champions League final, which was in 2013 and in Wembley. Marco Reus has made the most appearances and scored the most goals for Dortmund in Champions League history. 4 of those goals, interestingly, have been scored against Real Madrid. The Dortmund legend leaves the club at the end of this season, and he will celebrate his 35th birthday the day before the final. All the previous 14 UEFA matches between Dortmund and Real Madrid have been in the Champions League era, with the head-to-head record reading Dortmund winning 3, Real Madrid winning 6, and a draw happening 5 times. Real Madrid have been successful in each of their previous 8 appearances in the final of a Champions League. The last time they played a European Cup final without lifting the trophy was in 1981 against Liverpool. Carlo Ancelotti has reached his 6th Champions League final, the most of any coach in the history of European Cup and Champions League history. The Italian is aiming to win his 5th title. His current total of 4 is already the most. Real Madrid are unbeaten in their 12 Champions League matches this season. Remarkably, this is the first time they have reached a Champions League final without losing a match. Dortmund will be the 4th different German team that Real Madrid have faced in the Champions League this season, after Union Berlin, Leipzig in the round of 16, and Bayern Munich in the semi-finals. Real Madrid have played 2 Champions League finals against German teams and won both times, winning 7-3 versus Frankfurt in 1960 and 2-1 versus Bayer Leverkusen in 2002. The only previous time that Real Madrid have played a UEFA competition match at Wembley Stadium, though, was against Tottenham in the 17-18 Champions League group stage, in which they lost 3-1. And Luka Modric and Dani Carvajal are aiming to match Paco Gento's record and play on the winning team in 6 European Cup finals. So those are some interesting facts for you. Now it's time to go team by team and really get into the meat and potatoes of this final. So let's begin with Borussia Dortmund. So this is Borussia Dortmund's journey to the Champions League final. surprise package of this season's competition in the eyes of many, coming through arguably the toughest group of the competition. Many tip them to finish bottom of the group of death, and not many expected them to qualify, let alone top the group with ease. They started off a bit rocky with a 2-0 defeat at Paris and then a 0-0 draw at home to Milan, which meant Dortmund, in the eyes of many, were in trouble. However, Edin Terzic managed to turn his side's form around, both in the Champions League and the league, when he was under a bit of pressure, and Dortmund would go on to beat Newcastle home and away, and then cruise past Milan away to secure top spot of the group with one match spare. And then they drew 1-1 in a dead rubber game versus PSG. This tough group got Terzic's side battle ready, and it was needed as they would face stiff competition in the knockouts. PSV, who had won every game in the Eredivisie at this point, were their opponents, and this was a tough game. After a 1-1 draw in Eindhoven, Dortmund's home form blew PSV away and earned them a spot in the quarters, where they faced another very tough opponent in an Atletico Madrid side who had just knocked out last year's finalists, Inter Milan. After being 2-0 down at half-time in the first leg, it seemed the tie was getting away from them. However, Terzic's side from that point on dominated the rest of the tie, making it 2-1 in the first leg, giving them hope in the second, where at home they would turn around the defeat with an emphatic 4-2 win. This tie showed Dortmund had a strong mentality, as multiple times in this tie they looked down and out, but they clawed their way back and progressed to the semis. The semi-finals saw them drawn once again versus PSG, who they failed to beat in their 2 games in the groups. However, remarkably, Dortmund would beat PSG home and away fairly comfortably, silencing Kylian Mbappe and making it to the Champions League Final. What's perhaps the most impressive thing about this run is that Dortmund throughout this period have struggled in the league, but for some reason, when in the Champions League, just seem to turn it on, and they'll be hoping they can do that this final. So what are the strengths and keys to victory for Dortmund? The defence. Dortmund did not concede a goal in 2 games against the prolific Paris Saint-Germain attack in the semi-finals. Dortmund have kept 6 clean sheets in their last 11 Champions League matches and are a watertight defence, which will be huge for them in this final. The factors behind their success are an incredibly reliable goalkeeper in Gregor Kobel, 2 centre-backs who have been in top form recently in Mats Hummels and Nico Schlotterbeck, and an aggressive team defence that starts with striker Niklas Füllkrug's running up front. If their rearguard action works again, it could be difficult for Madrid to break Dortmund down. They're going to need that defence as well, because Madrid are very free scoring this season. Finals are usually low scoring, cagey affairs, so Dortmund having a strong defence benefits them massively. Wide areas for counter-attacks. It is no secret that Dortmund's wingers Jadon Sancho and Karim Adeyemi are fundamental weapons in BVB's offence. If Danny Carvajal and Ferland Mendy can get to grips with the black and yellow spacey players, they will take a lot of punch out of Dortmund's attacking play. If not, these two have already proved in the competition this season how much of a handful they can be. But Madrid's fullbacks are committed to relentlessly attacking high up the pitch. This has often been a winning match tactic, but in this game, it is important to note that Dortmund's wingers will have huge opportunities to probe in behind Ancelotti's fullbacks and try to wreak havoc, as they did versus PSG very well, with Sancho and Adeyemi both starring in the legs. With that that space that the fullbacks offer them, these wingers could be key. No pressure. Madrid have the tournament pedigree. This will be their 6th final in 11 years, and they won the other 5. Madrid haven't lost a Champions League final since 1981, winning 8 since then. Dortmund have only won the Champions League once, in 1997, and their only other appearance in the final was against Bayern in 2013. So history is clearly on Madrid's side, and Ancelotti's team possesses superstars in the form of Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., and other world-class players such as Toni Kroos and Antonio Rudiger. Ancelotti will be chasing a record 5th Champions League title against a coach who has won just 1 trophy on his resume, the German Cup. All of that points to Madrid having the edge, and they are the overwhelming favourites. But this might be good for Dortmund. They have no pressure or any expectation on them to win. Even if they were to lose 5-0, it's still been a great achievement getting to the Champions League final and a memorable campaign. So, kind of similar to how Inter did last year versus Man City, they can play relaxed with no fear, and that might work well for them, while Madrid have all the pressure and expectation of a result on them from their fans, the media. Everybody is expecting a Madrid win. Dortmund, it's essentially a free hit for them, and they can go out there and enjoy the occasion and try and pull off an upset. Let's move on to their weaknesses. Lack of experience. As mentioned, Madrid have been here before, a lot. Dortmund, on the other hand, have not. While Marco Reus and Mats Hummels will play massive roles due to playing at the last final, the rest of the squad have never played in a game as big as this in their careers. The worrying thing is, the only sort of comparable game to this was last season on the final day, where they had a game where if they won they would win the title, and their players crumbled under the pressure and fumbled the title. Maybe that was a learning curve for them, but it could also show this side lacked a mentality and experience in these big moments to get over the line with so many young players and a young coach. Goals. With only 3 goals in 12 games, Nicholas Füllkrug is BVB's top scorer in the current Champions League season. 4 Madrid players have all scored more, so the question is, will Dortmund be able to find a solution in front of goal if the classic talisman up front doesn't work? Dortmund have had 12 different scorers in the competition this season to Madrid's 8, so perhaps a widespread goal threat might work to their advantage. However, generally, they don't score bucket loads of goals and have no one player who they can really rely on in front of goal, which is a bit of a concern as Madrid have tons of them, and in the final, where it's a bit cagey, you do need those game winners, that individual talent to grab you a goal. I'm not entirely sure who in this Dortmund side will do it. So who are the key players for Borussia Dortmund? Marco Reus. Now, this isn't necessarily about being a key player to win the game, more so just a great story to watch out. After 12 years and 428 appearances for his boyhood club, Marco Reus is calling his time on his Dortmund career at the end of the season. The attacking midfielder went on to establish himself as one of the finest players to ever grace the Bundesliga, registering 170 goals and 131 assists, as well as lifting the German Cup on 2 occasions. However, he's yet to get his hands on a major honour for Dortmund, and this is his last chance to do it. He may not start, but that motivation for the squad to get Reus a Champions League on his final game with them may help the squad, and his experience could benefit the team as well. When Dortmund are winning, Royce has been used as a super sub off the bench in the Champions League to help control and calm the game, and he may be needed to do that in this game too, for the final time in a yellow shirt. Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is now 24 and in his second spell at Dortmund, having plundered 50 goals in his last 3 seasons at BVB before heading to Manchester. The winger's time at Old Trafford did not hit the same heights, but the magic has seemingly returned since moving back to Germany. He starred in the PSG first leg, winning man of the match, and has been fantastic in the Champions League this season for Dortmund. As I mentioned earlier, the wide areas is where Dortmund could hurt Madrid, so Sancho will have a massive role to play in this final, and what a redemption story it would be for him to win the Champions League back in England after being essentially banished by Man United and his manager this year. Mats Hummels. As we said earlier, Dortmund's defence is the reason they are in this final, with it being by far the best in the competition. And while it's been a team performance, Mats Hummels has been imperious at the back. He's arguably been the best defender in the Champions League this season, also scoring some crucial goals, including the winner in the second leg versus PSG in the semi-finals. He, like Royce, is one of the only players to have played in a massive final like this, having played in the 2013 final with Dortmund and the 2014 World Cup final with Germany. His experience and great defensive ability is going to be needed against the star-studded attack of Madrid. So now we move on to their opponents, Real Madrid. So this is Real Madrid's journey to the final. While Dortmund have progressed to the final through hard defensive work, Madrid's free scoring qualification helped them win their group with maximum points. However, in the knockouts, Madrid were more cautious, and they secured a narrow and at times tense round of 16 victory against Bundesliga side RB Leipzig by progressing just 2-1 on aggregate. They then went back to the basketball games with a 3-3 draw versus Manchester City at the Bernabeu. They went back to the Etihad needing a victory, which was going to be difficult, especially after what happened last year where they lost 4-0 there. However, this year showed this Madrid side was much improved after they knocked out the holders Man City 4-3 in a penalty shootout. Madrid's semi-final win against Bayern yet again was pure drama. The first leg was very entertaining, with a 2-2 draw at the Allianz, and many tipped them to win with ease at the Bernabeu. However, they required 2 late goals from the unlikely hero substitute Joselu to seal a 2-1 second leg win and a 4-3 aggregate success. Bayern looked set for the final until Joselu scored in the 88th and 91st minutes, which showed how this Madrid side never gives up, and no matter how long is left, they can always find a way to win. So what are Madrid's strengths and keys to victory in the final? The attack. This final is interesting because it's the best defence of the tournament in Borussia Dortmund versus the best attack in the tournament with Real Madrid. Madrid have an ability to score goals versus anybody. They scored 3 versus Man City in the first leg, 2 versus Bayern in both legs, 7 versus Napoli in 2 games in the groups, 4 versus Union Berlin in 2 games, and 5 solid 87 goals in La Liga as well. So even though Dortmund have the best defence, Madrid can score versus anybody, and we will see if they can score past this Dortmund defence. Game winners. Perhaps the biggest strength for Real Madrid is they have multiple game winners in their side. Vinicius Jr. scored a brace in the first leg versus Bayern to get them a draw. Joselu scored a brace versus Bayern in the second leg to get them a win. Rodrigo scored a brace versus Man City in the first leg to get a draw. Brahim Diaz got the winning goal versus Leipzig in the first leg when Madrid was struggling. Jude Bellingham played a vital role in the goal versus Man City in the second leg. Madrid have superstars who can grab a goal out of nothing, which is exactly what you need in a final. The last 4 Champions League finals have all ended 1-0. In fact, you have to go back to Madrid's 3-1 win against Liverpool in 2018 for the last time that the final featured more than 2 goals, or both teams scoring. So history says this might be decided by 1 or 2 goals, and Madrid have players who can break down a tight defence like Dortmund's from out of nowhere and win them the game. Experience. Of course, Madrid's biggest strength is, well, they are Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti's side live and breathe the stress, the pride, the ambition, the Houdini acts and the majesty any club needs to win this trophy. Few share the same desire to win the trophy, and Ancelotti, unlike Terzic, has played so many Champions League finals, so there's no need to worry about him overthinking this or getting nervous. Madrid never lose finals, and importantly this squad have also been to many finals with the likes of Carvajal, Cruz and Modric and others playing multiple Champions League finals, that this probably feels normal for them at this point, which is a massive advantage to have, especially when compared to Dortmund, who cannot say the same. So what are the weaknesses of this Real Madrid side? Goalkeeper. Now this isn't so much a weakness, but a bit of a dilemma for Ancelotti, which could turn into a problem. Andre Lunin is the unsung hero of this campaign, superb against Leipzig in both legs, defiant in normal time, extra time and penalties against Man City, and then crucial against Bayern. Thibaut Courtois, so long as he's fit, is the number 1, but having been out for 95% of the season, is there a danger that starting someone who was man of the match in Madrid's last Champions League final might be a risk. Lunin, also while he was great, had some bad moments with a couple goals he should have saved in the Champions League run, and he has never played in such a big game, while Courtois was literally man of the match in a Champions League final. It's a weird conundrum, and we will see what happens in goal, but whoever plays, Madrid need them to step up. And the reason they need them to step up is because of their other weakness, the defence. Madrid can score goals. They have the ability to control games from midfield, and in defence they have a fantastic defender in Antonio Rudiger, who has locked off so many strikers this season. But despite their many strengths, Madrid have conceded 8 goals in 6 games during the knockout stages, and 15 if you include the groups, which is an average of a goal a game, so Dortmund will have their chances to score. Teams can get at Madrid easily, as fellow Bundesliga side RB Leipzig did versus Madrid. It's just about taking your chances when you get them. But Dortmund maybe don't need to worry about getting those chances, as Madrid will concede quite a few big chances per game, and that's a real worry from Madrid. Because if they cannot break down Dortmund's tight defence, and they continue to concede big chances, well, they can kiss their hopes of a 15th Champions League goodbye. So who are the key players for Real Madrid? Leipzig as well, and has been clutch for Madrid in the Champions League this season. He is one of those who, as I mentioned, has the ability to make something out of nothing, and most importantly, he's already scored the winner in a Champions League final, scoring the winning goal versus Liverpool in 2022, so he's not going to be nervous at all going into this one, and he could be the man to decide this final as well. Toni Kroos. Just like Royce for Madrid's Toni Kroos, this will be the last game of his club career, following his decision to retire after Euro 2024. The four-time Champions League winner became only the 7th player to reach 150 games in the competition, and in announcing his retirement said, "My ambition was always to finish my career at the peak of my performance." One of Royce or Kroos's dreams will come true when they bring down their respective curtains in London, and somebody will have a fairy tale ending. Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham's first season in Madrid following his switch from Dortmund has been nothing short of remarkable. The 20-year-old scored 24 goals in 132 games for BVB, but has racked up an astonishing 23 in only 40 matches in Spain. This is his first Champions League final. He is one of the only players in this Madrid side who, I can say, does not have that experience in a Champions League final. While experience hasn't affected him this season at Madrid, could this occasion be one step too far for him? And if he doesn't perform, as we've seen a lot this season, when Madrid are bad, it's usually because Jude is bad. At Wembley Stadium, back in England versus former club, Jude has the opportunity to come full circle and round off what might be one of the best first seasons we've ever seen for a player. So, it is time for the prediction. So having said all of this, we've analysed both teams in depth. It's time for the 23-24 Champions League Final prediction. I think the way the game is going to be played is very simple to predict. And it will quite clearly be a case for me of Dortmund sitting back and Madrid having the ball. Both teams are dangerous on the counter, but Madrid perhaps the more dangerous. So Dortmund, I doubt, will go into this game playing high up the pitch and trying to dominate Madrid, similar to how they did that versus PSG, as they recognised they had players like Mbappe who would hurt them if they gave them space. And Vinicius Jr. is the exact same. So I believe Terzic will set up his side to sit back and Madrid will be on the front foot. Although when Dortmund do get the ball, I expect Madrid to also sit back. So for that reason, I think this tie is going to start off as a bit of a chess match and a slow burn. Although I think it will take one goal for things to completely change. If Dortmund score first, they will park that bus the entire match and hold on for their lives. If Madrid score first, again, I think they will sit back and try to hit Dortmund on the counter, while Dortmund go full throttle in attack. So as a neutral, I hope we get early goals, as both scenarios are very exciting. But what do I actually think will happen? I do believe for the first 20 minutes it will be no goals, as Madrid struggled to break down Dortmund, and Dortmund also, when they have the ball, struggle to really get past Madrid. However, I think the first half will not end 0-0. I actually do believe that Real Madrid are fairly poor defensively when they are in control of the game and a team sits back. As we've seen many times in the Champions League this season, they've been hit on that counter-attack. So, for that reason, I believe Dortmund, who we saw versus PSG, are very effective on the counter. For 180 minutes, they deployed a pretty much identical game plan, and I think they're going to use that same game plan here, and it will start off and work well, because in the first half, they will hit them on the counter and they will go 1-0 up at half time, thanks to likes of Mbappe, which I think might happen with Dortmund defending Vinny and Rodrigo. But with Joselu, I think Vinny gets freed more, and I believe Vinicius will begin to cook, and he will score to make it 1-1 around the 65th minute. At this point, Dortmund heads start to drop. Madrid suddenly get that Madrid fever and momentum, and they start pushing again. I think from this point Madrid push for the second while Dortmund are starting to tire out physically and mentally after that goal. And Madrid managed to snatch another goal to turn it around, and it will be Jude Bellingham with a late run into the box against his former side to break their hearts around the 75th minute. The last 10 minutes Dortmund chuckle they have at Madrid and do create a few chances, but Madrid remain firm and they hold on to a 2-1 victory in the final. So that's my prediction, a 2-1 win for Real Madrid after Dortmund go 1-0 up by Brandt and Vinicius and Jude Bellingham win it for Madrid. I could see it going either way though, to be honest, and I'm really excited as a neutral. For those who believe Dortmund will be blown away, I think that's definitely not happening. I genuinely think they have a good chance of winning this. Even if the history says not, I believe there is a good possibility Dortmund shock Madrid here. But that's my prediction. What is your prediction for the final? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in another video.